Higher, further, faster, baby. Okay, so what's going on YouTube? Today, if you couldn't tell by that little quick snippet, I really need to get an intro for my channel. Anyway, what we're going to talk about is Captain Marvel. And is this going to be a good movie? Is it going to be a bad movie? Is it going to be an agenda push? First things first, I fear for this movie. The same fears that I had for Black Panther when it initially came out. I did a video on it a while ago. It's a horrible video, just me looking at my phone. But anyway, I worried for Black Panther for the reasons of, yes, we have a black cast, good stuff. Black-led black-led superhero movie, which, as stated, not the first of its kind, but in this terms of the MCU and everything, it was a bit scary. It's a bit scary because my worry at the time was, are we gonna get a good movie with a relatively popular character, at least within the comics, at least it's got his strong following. Are we gonna get a good movie? How will this affect black culture in the wider scheme of the world, the view of black people in the world? How will this affect comic book movies? There was a lot riding on Black Panther. Luckily, it was a great movie. Were there a couple hiccups here and there? Absolutely. Sometimes that CGI was a bit shoddy. Anyway, recently it did win the Oscar Awards for, I think, Best Costume Design, Best Production, and I believe Best Original Score. Well-deserved things altogether. Very, very happy about that. And it was nominated for Best Picture, and so that's really good. That is absolutely amazing, great news. Again, my worries for that movie were, is this going to be a good movie or an agenda push of saying, look, we finally have black characters that are leading in a movie with a lot of black people, and here, have this, take that, satisfied, pacify you right now, versus are we going to get something that we can relate to, we can understand? One, for me as a black person, and two, for the wider audience, are they going to enjoy this movie that's a superhero movie that happens to have black people leading the way, like Hot Wheels? I hope you get that reference. Now we have Captain Marvel. And I have the same exact issues. However, not with black people, because Captain Marvel and Brie Larson, they are not black. Brie Larson, a white female who apparently hates white men. Now, I'm slightly jumping on the bandwagon for this, in the terms of, I don't think she hates white men, but my homie Made Up Universe, he made a video, one about this type of topic, if Captain Marvel is going to be a good movie or not, and does Brie Larson hate white men? No, I don't think she hates white men. That sounds like a bunch of bullcrap, to be perfectly honest. What I do think, though, is that she is very feminist, and there's nothing at all wrong with that. She's very much about being pro-woman. More power to her. She's got the right platform to do that. A lot of people do that with being black, being Hispanic, whatever it is. If you're on a platform, use it. However, this is then turned into, oh, she hates white men. Oh, she doesn't like this. She doesn't want people doing this. She doesn't want people to see this movie. No. A lot of her position is being inclusive of other people. I know I'm talking on a bit of a side note right now because I'm talking about the movie. But the fact is, looking at all the facts that you have with what she has said about including other people, it's not excluding. It's not exclusive of other people. Especially when she said about the opinions of a 40-year-old person. The movie isn't for a 40-year-old person, which, to be fair, is very, very wide, because I'm pretty sure a lot of 40-year-old white men are comic book nerds. But anyway, it's not for a specific demographic. You have a while ago when people were talking about comic book movies, and a lot of us nerds were saying, the movie's not for you, it's for nerds. And that makes perfect sense. She's saying the same thing. The sentiment of certain comic book movies and certain movies overall, they're not for certain people, but people can still watch them. They can have their opinion. The opinion doesn't matter. Again, like my homie Made Up Universe says, if you're watching my YouTube video, I care about your opinion if you are into comics. If like he said again, trying to think of other channels, if you're a beauty vlogger, it doesn't really matter what your opinion is, unless you are also interested in comics. But if you're coming at the point of view from someone who is a beauty vlogger, if you're trying to give me tips on my video, great, give me tips. But if you're talking about, well, actually, I think this, do you know about comics? Probably not, but you also might. If you do, great, cool. The relevance of that person's opinion is the relevance of how invested are they in a particular product. And I think that's what her point is. Relevance is what is key right here. A 40-year-old white dude who doesn't like comics and they're critiquing comic book movies and they're saying it's stupid or it's not good or whatever because this is and this. Is like, you clearly don't understand the medium of comics, one, and you don't understand how hard it is to translate comics to movie. Luckily, a lot of great comic book movies in there from Marvel, DC, Vertigo, Image. All these movies that have come out are really good. Some of them are absolute trash, but a lot of them have been good throughout the year, starting from back in the day with Spider-Man and Captain America, before you had Avi Arad and Sam Raimi doing their trilogy, which kind of brought movies to the forefront for comic books. But I'm sidestepping. Let's jump back onto the point of Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, similar to, like I said, Black Panther, will this movie be an agenda push, or will it be a well-written movie that has a beginning, middle, and end that is relatable, understandable, and good? I worry from the trailers of this movie. When I look at the trailer, I'm thinking, you know what, this looks interesting. I'm very excited for this. I love the character of Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, in the comics. She's a very headstrong woman, which is really cool. I don't think she throws it in your face that she's a woman. Sometimes she says certain things, but I think overall she is a strong character. Sometimes poorly written in terms of making her seem more aggressive than she really needs to be, but I think she has the right level of aggression and personality, rather than just being a strong woman for strong woman's sake and not being a damsel in distress. And her costume is very similar to a man's costume. She's wearing a full body outfit. It can be skin tight, but hell, a lot of men's outfits are skin tights in superhero anyway, so it makes sense. She's never really put in too many feminine poses, and she's put into a lot of poses similar to Superman. Hands on her hips, chest out, very strong. So I like that. It's very, very strong female, but not in your face strong female most of the time. As for her movie counterpart in the trailers, how it's marketed, you'll notice a lot of them. It always says it starts with her. And that's something that initially worried me at the beginning. It starts with her. Why is that significant? Because I can't see anything in the MCU that it starts with her. She's in the 90s. The first superhero recorded, really, I guess you could say, in the new age would be Captain America. And even prior to that, you've got characters such as Thor, and you've got Odin, which, to be fair, isn't a superhero, and I guess Thor didn't become a superhero until the early 2000s. Or, no, mid-2000s, I think. I can't remember when Thor came out. 2010? 2010. So, either way, even if you take Thor out of it, you've still got Captain America going from the 70s. And if you want to push it, I guess you could say he didn't become a superhero until, again, the around 2012, 11, something like that. Whenever Captain America: The First Avenger came out, and then he's back into the future, which would be roughly around Iron Man time, Thor time. So in between 2010 and about 2013, I think, or 11, because I think Winter Soldier came out in 2014. But if you take that timeline out, I guess you could say it starts with her. Maybe they're talking about having it be the beginning of the Avengers Initiative, but she's away in space, so it didn't start with her because you've got Nick Fury. But nothing obvious, at the very least, states that superhero starts with her. This isn't the first MCU movie. Maybe they're talking about the relaunch of the MCU with the 10 years, but this is still part of Phase 3. And nothing, like I say, nothing states why it starts with her. And that is my worry, that this feels like an agenda push. Whereas Black Panther, whilst I was worried about the agenda push, didn't feel like it was an agenda push. I just kind of felt that personally because of a black cast, and I felt the pressure of that movie of it being good. And I don't think Captain Marvel needs that pressure or has that pressure of it needs to be a good movie. It just feels like this due to the trailers, and that is my worry about this movie. Are we going to get an agenda push? Because in the comics, Marvel are, for lack of a better word, guilty of this. Why are they guilty of this? Because you've had Marvel Now, I believe it was, which just out of nowhere kind of had a strong layout change of their mainstay characters, going from Iron Man then becoming Ironheart, sort of, Riri Williams, and she's kind of the poster child of being a Mary Sue, just putting it in there for this, and we're gonna have a minority. You've got Amadeus Cho, Totally Awesome Hulk, who was around before. A lot of these characters were around before, but they got pushed to the forefront for Marvel Now, from what I can remember. Please correct me in the comment section if I am wrong about that. And the misunderstanding of Riri Williams is that she didn't have time to build her own character. It was because Tony Stark was put into a coma after Civil War II, and she just kind of took the spot. And she was given the comic of Invincible Iron Man. She never really took on the title of Iron Man at all. She became Ironheart, and people did not like that. She didn't grow organically. She was kind of shoved in our faces as comic book nerds. And I think this movie is following suit with that. It's like, look, she's going to be the new face of Marvel. You're going to take over Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. This is going to be you. They're putting a lot of pressure on Captain Marvel because of this marketing strategy that they're using. Or at least it feels like that to me. I don't know, but it seems very, very pushy and putting a female-led character in this role. Not in the sense of, I don't want this, because like I say, I love Captain Marvel. But this movie trailer marketing feels like they're saying, look, we have a woman. Now, I have no issue with that whatsoever. However, the movie that a large portion of comic book movie nerds have wanted is a Black Widow movie. Her story would be amazing. It'd be very similar to Captain America Winter Soldier. Hell, do it in Russia. That's great. With that, we now have this. We're given a female-led superhero movie, not particularly the one that we wanted, as far as the MCU is concerned, but we're getting it and we're happy for it. Is it the one that we need? As far as the MCU is concerned, probably to take it in a different direction. Is it the one that we want? In terms of a character for Captain Marvel, yes, it's the one that we want. Is it the one that we desired for a long time? No. And I think that is the issue that a lot of people have right now, is that they feel attacked, one, by Brie Larson because of the comments or a misunderstanding of her comments, possibly, and this movie's marketing that it's her. And a lot of people do not actually like Captain Marvel in the comics, as in nerds don't like her. And I think that is translating into this because they feel attacked, like, oh, it's not a white male anymore, and Brie Larson is saying this about white men. Oh, you're doing a woman, okay, and you're marketing it this way. Okay, it just doesn't feel very organic. That is a problem. This has been very ranty, and I do apologize about that. I just sat down and thought about all the things that I have an issue with this. I think that the movie will be enjoyable. I think that Brie Larson will do a good job. She's an Oscar winner. When I've looked at her in interviews, she seems like she's interested in the character. She's been in the gym. I think she could bulk up a little bit more. I think, actually I might do a quick video on that as well. But there's an issue with, I feel, physically how she looks in the suit. She doesn't really fill it out that well. But, you know, that's besides the point. I can move by that, get some CG in there, and it's cool. But that is kind of my issue with this movie straight off the bat, just thinking about it, having previous conversations. It's a bit ranty, it's a bit all over the place. But anyways, dudes, like I always see, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, hit the notification bell, not that we're at the video. Share it with your friends, and if you didn't like this video, share it with your enemies so they have to listen to me talk and deal with that. That's a punishment right there, but hopefully you like it and you share it with more people because you do like it. Anyway, like I said, not really informational, very ranty. Catch other videos in this area here, wherever I put it, subscriptions, all that jazz. Dudes, I still don't have a soon off yet, so peace.